Good evening, Natalie here to take you through the 5 questions I posted earlier, so 14 days before the English GCSE paper 1. I'm going to take you through each one of them all in one video. So if you want to see the foundation ones, obviously they will be a little bit further on. But each slide will go through them one by one. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to go through the, oops, not quite sure what's happening there. Let's try again. There we go. So, first question, 16 divided by 2 to the power of 9 is equal to 2 to the power of n. Now, what is n? As I always teach my students when I'm teaching, we'll treat n as it's a number. It's representing something. It might be 5, it might be 10, it might be minus 2, it might be minus a half. We need to find out what value of n would make the left-hand side equal 2 to the power of n. Okay, so my first tip is when you look at a question like that is, well, you've got something to the power, you've got 2 to the power of 9, you've got 2 to the power of something here. So therefore, to make it easier, if we represent that 16 as a something 2 to the power of something, we can use the index rules that we have learnt. In any question, and I will push this through all of the things I do on my page, always think and have that confidence. I'm not going to be asked something I have not learnt. However, you need to be able to apply the things that you've learnt in a way that you may not have seen before, which is why I'm doing these questions on this page. Okay, so 16, we can represent that as 2 to the power of 4. So we've got 2 to the power of 4 divided by 2 to the power of 9. What indices rules, what index rules, how do you know where you can simplify something divided by something else, where the bases are the same? Remember, 2 is known as the base. Well, actually, we subtract the powers. So we have 2 to the power of 4 minus 9. So therefore, we have 2 to the power of minus 5. So straight away, we know that n is equal to minus 5. What I wanted to include in here as well is actually, how can we write 2 to the power of minus 5? What's another way we can write it? Now, when we have a negative power, that means we have to put, if it's a whole number, so if the base is a whole number, that means we have to create it as 1 over 2 to the power of 5. So that minus means 1 over. If it's a fraction, so let's just say we had a half to the power minus 5, we would flip that fraction so it becomes 2 over 1. This is known as the reciprocal. Look that one up. Again, I'm not going into lots of details of every little bit about the maths course. If you can't remember what it is at this point, go and look it up. So 2 to the power minus 5 can be written as 1 over 2 to the power of 5. So remember, when you've done the working out, always check, have I answered the question? So what is n? N is equal to minus 5. Okay, question number 2. 15 to the power of minus 3, all to the power of 6, times 15 to the power of 4 is equal to 15 to the power of what? Right, so let's look at this bit first. What indices rules do we know we can apply to a power of a power? Now, if you remember, that will actually be when we multiply those powers together, okay? And then the second part, we can't do anything with that right now. So let's just simplify this then. So we've got minus a negative number times a positive number, which makes it negative, and then 3 times 6 is 18. So it's 15 to the power of minus 18 times 15 to the power of 4. Using indices rules again, if we're multiplying, we add those powers. So again, just be doubly careful with your negatives and your positives. So minus 18 plus 4 gives us 15 to the power minus 4. As I covered in the last one, that would be 1 over 15 to the power of 14. So G is equal to minus 14. Okay, that is the last of the higher level questions. So if that's all you're interested in, please come finish now. However, just double check that you're happy with the foundation ones as well. Okay, so foundation questions. So as with everything, remember your rules. You really, really must know all of the rules. Things like what happens when you multiply bases together? What happens when you divide? Make sure you know them. If you don't, just keep practicing them. Look at them in your revision book and just go over them again. Anyway, back to the question. So we've got 2 to the power of 4 times 2 to the power of 5. That means we've got 4 lots of 2's multiplied together, and also multiplying that by 5 lots of 2's. So we've got 9 2's multiplying together. That comes from, when we add those powers together, 2 to the power of 4 plus 5, which is equal to 2 to the power of 9. Again, I'm not going to go into too much of the proof. Obviously, have a look on the internet for that. Okay, so on to the next one. 2 to the power of 9 divided by 2 to the power of 3. When we are dividing and the bases are the same, what we do is we subtract the powers. So we keep the base the same, it's 2, and it's 9 minus 3. And always remember it's in that order, 9 minus 3. So 9 minus 3 is 6. So that leaves 2 to the power of 6. Don't fall for a common mistake where people say, well, actually 2 divided by 2 is 1. So that's 1 to the power of 6. No, you keep the base exactly as it is. The whole, the big number, the base. Oh, excuse me. Okay, finally, the last question. We have 7, oh goodness me, excuse me. We have 7 to the power of 6 times 7 to the power of 4, all divided by 7 to the power of 12. So here we've actually got 2 lots of indices rules, 2 lots of indices rules we need to use. So on the top one, we've got a multiplying together. And if you remember from what we did here, we add the powers together. And on the bottom, we'll just leave that as it is for now. So we work out the top. We've got 6 to the power of 10 divided, 7 to the power of 10 divided by 7 to the power of 12. Now, what do we do when we divide? You remember the bases are the same, the 7 and the 7. What do we do to the powers? We subtract them. So it's 7 to the power of 10 minus 12. And that is 7 to the power of minus 2. Just to recap, and what does that mean if it's to a negative power? It means it's 1 over that. If you've got a whole number and it's to a negative power, it means it's 1 over 7 to the power of 2. Okay, right. Thank you very much. But for you at foundation level, actually, just representing it like that probably will be enough. But actually, just be aware of this as well. Again, strength adding to your learning. All right, thank you very much. Any questions of that, please message me and I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can. That will be it for my messages today. Have a good evening, or hopefully you're all coming to bed right now to go back at school tomorrow. Good luck with any exams you've got. All right, thank you very much. Bye-bye. I'm going to stop recording now.